Hello everyone, my name is Zhentao Zhong. Today I will talk about should sport and politics be separated. Introduction. To understand the relationship between sports and politics, one needs to first understand the relationship between sport and society. Leaders, autocrats, and powerful individuals have frequently used sport to assert their political dominance. The Olympics, both ancient and modern, have always been political. Governments' participation in sports activities, especially in widely published activities, usually aim to gain recognition and prestige. Recognition will enable people around the world to identify a community or country from previous knowledge. My position is sports and politics should not be separated. I think sports and politics are closely related, and political participation in sports is helpful to sports development. Main point one, the government can protect the rights of athletes and the public. The first, safeguarding the public. When it comes to government, the city governments takes on the role of maintaining order in public areas of society because sports arenas and fields are such a large part of public society. It's the government's duty to ensure that they are managed in such a way that is safe for citizens. The second, protect the rights of athletes. UN body remains will support that international human rights standards and principles apply to athletes. The world's leading player associations violate the Universal Declaration of Player Rights to protect players from ongoing and systemic human rights violation in global sport. For example, every player is entitled to equality of opportunity in the pursuit of sport without distinction of any kind and free of discrimination, harassment, and violence. Every player has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. And every player has the right to organize and selectively bargain. Main point two, political power of athletes. In many cases, athletes have more power than politicians. Many former athletes has gone on to a career in politics. One of the most notable examples is a bodybuilder and actor Arnold, who became the governor of California in 2003 and served until 2011. Another example is from the 1968 Mexico City Olympics, where U.S. Olympians Tommy Smith and John Carlos raised their fists in solidarity with the Black Power movement. Main point three is Olympic Games and politics. It's often said that sport and politics are two aspects of our society that have nothing in common. Yet the history of the Olympic movement has provided several examples of how they influence one another, directly or indirectly. For example, in the 1960s, the ping pong diplomacy that followed encountered a range between American and the Chinese players enabled the situation to be unfrozen. and paved the way to a dialogue between two countries that did not maintain diplomatic relations. China, UK, and Russia all used the Olympics as a means to achieve political or economic gain. China used the Olympics to show that it was again a part of world politics and as a nation building project. The UK used the Olympics for urban regeneration, to improve as a sports nation, and to create opportunities for youth in sport. And Russia will use the Olympics to show the world that it is finally rid of the Cold War, and to introduce itself as a winter sport destination both for competitions and for winter tourists. This is the support in politics. In conclusion, political and social issues have permeated sports at all levels, from youth league to the big leagues, and that is time for sports to be recognized as both a driver and a reflection of social change. The combination of politics and sports can reproduce social values. In Canada, the government values individual freedom, inclusion, diversity, and dignity. It also supports value of hard work, discipline, loyalty, and determination, all of which are reaffirmed in sport. Discussion questions. Number one, what aspect of this presentation did you find particularly insightful and why? Second, if sports and politics are separated, how will sport development be affected? Do you think it's positive or negative? The third, do you think politics will affect the fairness of sport? If so, how should we resolve it? This is my references. Thank you for watching my presentation.